You're watching a video of a respected conservative columnist saying something explosive about a sitting president. His face is right there, his voice sounds exactly like him, but none of it is real. This is the new frontier of political misinformation. Not crude photoshops, not obvious fakes, AI-generated videos using real footage with synthetic voices saying things that were never spoken. Welcome to Internet Mythbusters. Today, we're examining how fake George Will videos fooled over 1 million viewers and what that tells us about the future of trust. The video looked completely legitimate. Conservative commentator George Will, a man known for occasionally criticizing Trump from the right, appeared to be reporting breaking news about Fox cutting away from a rambling president. 1.5 million views on YouTube alone, shared across Facebook, Twitter, reposted by political commentators. People believed it because it felt entirely plausible. But here's the thing. That video never happened. That speech was never given. And George Will never said any of it. Let me show you how we know. George Will is a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist who has been commenting on American politics for over 50 years. He's appeared on ABC, Fox News, and countless other outlets. He's known for his intellectual conservatism and has, at times, been critical of Trump. That's what made him the perfect target for this particular deepfake operation. The creators chose someone whose criticism of Trump would seem believable. They weaponized his credibility, using his real reputation to sell a completely fabricated story. The technique is sophisticated. They didn't create George Will's image from scratch. They took authentic footage of him speaking and then manipulated only the audio and lip movements. This approach is far more dangerous than creating a completely synthetic face. When you start with real footage, you inherit all the authentic visual details that make someone recognizable. According to Snopes, the deepfake video claiming Fox News cut away from Trump falling apart garnered more than 105 million views on YouTube before it was flagged. Snopes fact-checkers found no credible news outlets reported that Fox News cut away from a cabinet meeting in February 2026. The alleged incident simply never occurred. No verified broadcast footage supporting the narrative was found. Fact-checkers searched archives from every major network. The cabinet meeting footage the video referenced didn't exist. The deepfake was created by repurposing authentic footage of George Will with digitally altered audio and mouth movements matched to a completely fabricated script. Snopes analysts identified telltale signs including unnatural mouth and head movements that didn't quite synchronize with the audio being spoken. The voice itself had synthetic qualities, odd emphasis on certain words, unnatural pauses between phrases, intonation patterns that didn't match how George Will actually speaks. This wasn't an isolated incident. Multiple deepfake videos impersonating George Will spread across platforms, including one falsely claiming Canada's Prime Minister, Carney, walked out on Trump. The pattern suggests a coordinated campaign, same target, same technique, multiple fabricated stories designed to spread through social media ecosystems. Why does this particular format work so well? Because it exploits something called the credibility transfer. We've spent decades learning to trust video as evidence. When we see someone's face and hear their voice, our brains automatically assume authenticity. That assumption made sense when video required expensive equipment and professional distribution. But now, anyone with a laptop can synthesize a voice. Anyone with the right software can manipulate lip movements. The barrier to creating convincing fakes has essentially vanished. The George Will deepfakes represent something new. Not an obvious manipulation designed to go viral through shock value, but a subtle counterfeit designed to pass as legitimate news. Some content creators who shared the video later publicly apologized after learning it was AI-generated. One wrote simply, "The George Will video was AI-generated. I wasn't aware of it. I apologize." That apology represents something significant. Real people with real audiences got fooled. They spread misinformation unknowingly, and their credibility suffered when the truth emerged. This is the collateral damage of deepfakes, not just the primary deception, but the erosion of trust that follows. Once people learn they were fooled, skepticism spreads to everything. The creators of these deepfakes understand this dynamic perfectly. They're not just spreading false information, they're poisoning the well of public discourse itself. YouTube's response time presents a fundamental challenge. The video reached 1.5 million views before fact-checkers could effectively respond and platforms could take action. Misinformation spreads at the speed of a click. Fact-checking requires research, Verification, expert consultation. By the time the truth catches up, the damage is already done. This asymmetry is exactly what makes deepfakes so effective as a weapon. The creators know their content will spread faster than any correction ever could. So, how do you protect yourself? Let's talk about the telltale signs that can help you spot synthetic media before you accidentally share it. First, watch the mouth. Current deepfakes often struggle with precise lip synchronization. Look for moments where the words being spoken don't quite match the lip movements you're seeing. Pay attention to how the jaw moves. Real speech involves complex muscle movements. Deepfakes sometimes produce a strange rigidity or puppet-like quality in facial motion. Second, listen to the voice. Synthetic speech often has odd emphasis, unnatural pauses, a certain flatness and emotional expression that sounds just slightly off. Compare the voice to verified clips of the same person. If you can find authentic interviews, listen for the natural rhythms and speech patterns that might be missing in the fake. Third, verify the event. If a video claims something newsworthy happened, check whether any legitimate news outlet reported it. Explosive political moments don't go unreported. In the George Will case, no mainstream outlet covered the alleged Fox News incident. That absence of corroboration should have been the first red flag. Fourth, be suspicious of certain title formats. Phrases like 1 minute ago, breaking, or just now are manipulation tactics designed to create urgency and bypass critical thinking. Legitimate breaking news doesn't need to scream its freshness at you. Real journalists report events, not their timestamp. When a video works too hard to seem urgent, question why. Fifth, cross-reference the pundit's actual channel. George Will has verified accounts and official platforms. Check if the explosive statement appears anywhere he actually controls. If you found these tips useful, consider subscribing. We tackle stories like this every week, breaking down how misinformation works and how to spot it before it spreads. There's a bigger question here. What happens when this technology gets better? The George Will deepfakes had detectable flaws. Future versions might not. We're entering an era where seeing may no longer mean believing. Actually, scratch that. We're already there. The question is what we do about it. Some argue platforms like YouTube should deploy mandatory AI detection for political content. Others worry about the censorship implications of automated content moderation. There's also the question of legal recourse. Should public figures be able to sue over deepfake impersonation? George Will hasn't commented publicly, but the question remains open. As of now, the deepfake videos remain accessible on various platforms. Even after fact-checkers rated the claims as false, the content continues to circulate in various forms. This persistence is part of the problem. Once misinformation enters the ecosystem, it never fully leaves. It gets downloaded, re-uploaded, shared through private channels, forwarded in group chats. Every time someone shares the debunked video without the context of the debunking, the lie gets a second life. The truth has to win every single time. The lie only needs to win once. According to Yahoo News fact-checkers, the video included multiple technical indicators of AI manipulation that trained analysts can identify, but average viewers would likely miss. This gap between expert detection and public vulnerability is where the real danger lives. We can't expect everyone to become a forensic video analyst before sharing content. The burden of verification shouldn't fall entirely on individuals, but until platforms develop better detection and labeling systems, individuals are often the last line of defense. So here's the uncomfortable truth. In 2026 and beyond, you cannot fully trust video evidence of anyone saying anything unless you can verify it independently. That doesn't mean becoming paranoid. It means applying the same skepticism to video that you would apply to a random text post or an unsourced claim. Ask yourself, who benefits from me believing this? Is this claim reported anywhere else? Does the source have a history of accuracy? These questions take seconds and save reputations. The George Will deepfakes are a warning shot. They show us what's possible when AI tools meet political motivation and exploit our trust in familiar faces and voices. Next time you see a video of a pundit saying something explosive, pause, check. Verify. The few seconds it takes could prevent you from becoming part of the misinformation machine. The creators of these deepfakes remain unidentified. They produced professional quality fakes, distributed them strategically, and disappeared into the anonymity that the internet provides. We may never know who made the George Will deepfakes or why, but we know they reached over 1 million people. We know real commentators apologize for sharing them. And we know this is just the beginning. The tools are getting better, the fakes are getting harder to spot, the arms race between creation and detection continues. That's the reality we're living in now. A world where a respected columnist's face and voice can be hijacked to spread lies that reach millions before anyone can say stop. George Will never said those things about Trump. Fox News never cut away from a cabinet meeting. The entire narrative was fabricated from whole cloth using artificial intelligence. The only defense we have is each other. People who pause before sharing. People who check before believing. People who value truth over the dopamine hit of outrage. I'm your host at Internet Mythbusters. Stay skeptical, stay curious, and most importantly, stay informed. We'll see you next time.